Welcome to the first session of my 5-part rental self-management masterclass. I've been my own property manager for the last 8 years, and today I'm managing 8 homes and roughly 30 renters using the exact systems I'm about to show you. Over this series, we're going deep into the 4 domains of property management. First, preparation. Second, marketing. Third, tenant screening. And fourth, day-to-day operations, finishing the series with a rapid-fire Q&A session. Today, we start at the beginning, property preparation. We're covering why self-management is worth doing, determining whether to furnish the home or not, and the DIY do-it-yourself smart home upgrades that actually add value. Enjoy.
I've been doing my own residential investing for 8 years. Over those 8 years, I've acquired 8 single-family properties. Well, technically 7 single-family, 1 duplex. And from the very beginning, I decided I wanted to try self-managing that. I kind of looked at my market here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I said, there's not enough profit margins for me to simply accept delegating up to a property manager. And I was hungry. I was like, I'm gonna give it a go, and we're gonna try it. And then I got one, learned the experience, got two, started figuring out how to set up systems to let me scale and reduce the burden on my time. And then by the third, I had a good groove where I said, I can do this for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I've capped out at 8, but it scaled pretty good up to that point. So in this session, I'm just going to go talk about everything I do, the process, the methodology, the low fidelity tools I'm using. No matter what kind of investment strategies you have in your life goals, I encourage everyone, try to strive to include having at least one residential investment under your belt. One that doesn't necessarily have an exit strategy of 3 to 5 years or 5 to 7. There are benefits to having something really for life. You can pass it down from generation to generation. The moment you do that, there's tax incentives to be done. Unlike even if you do a sale, you got capital sales tax, you got depreciation recapture, but when you pass it out from generations, there's a ton of tax savings you can have there. So that's one reason. And then the second one is, some of y'all might already have one or two or whatever number of an investment portfolio that you're managing. And this is a great opportunity just to see how I'm doing things. You might be doing it differently. You might get some insights. You might say that you're doing it better, and then please let me know. I'd love to learn from you all. So that's the spirit of here, is just to share and to learn from one another. Let's make an assumption here. Let's assume that you have acquired a property and you have decided to self-manage it. What is the first thing you should probably start thinking about besides the obvious in terms of figuring out who your market is, whether that's families, traveling nurses, traveling actors, or like in my case, when I bought my properties, my target market was college students or young early working professionals. And the reason you want to know that is because the first decision you'll probably need to make is whether you want to furnish that unit or not. With families, you probably don't want to furnish it. It's costly, and families going to want to bring their own furniture. But in certain markets, like college students, it's actually kind of a must-have to furnish it, because not a lot of college students are going to have their own furniture to furnish the common areas. And the other factor is, if you're in my type of model, you might do room by room rentals. So even more of a reason why the common areas, you're going to want them to be furnished. And if, like me, you decide that you do want to furnish it, the next question you might ask yourself is, well, how do I go about doing that? The model that worked for me really good was to find retailers that offer multi-year 0% financing. Rooms to Go is my go-to. They've been my go-to for 8 years. On good timing, I can get 6 to 7 years of 0% interest rate financing on $2,000 to $3,000. Well, as much amount as I want, but usually I spend about $2,000 to $3,000 to furnish a small home. And that comes down to about $25 a month that I pay for that furniture. So needless to say, the cash flow pays for that itself. Then the second piece that I encourage everyone to do when they start buying a property is to think about immediately capturing the media side of that home. So what I mean by that are photos and videos. basically the Airbnb mindset, right? What sells, what rents are good looking photos and good videos. Of course, you don't want to make something so pretty that the discrepancy between what it looks like in the media versus what it actually is too much, and then people get turned off by it. But really find the time to get good quality media created. But I'm lazy, y'all. I'm an engineer. My job is to do less work, and so instead of me hiring a professional photographer or staging and all this stuff, I already bought the home. A realtor already took professional pictures. Pull up on Zillow, take a screenshot. That's my media. Free media acquired, and I've only had one realtor in my 8 years, 9 properties, complain to my realtor saying, "Why is Adrian doing this?" Because they kind of saw that I was already proactively marketing the house as a rental on Facebook and using their picture. So they got a little upset about that, but they got paid. They were okay at the end of the day. And at this point, I also recommend to start centralizing what I call the property profile somewhere. For me, that's Google Drive. And so that is where I put everything about that property. My loans, my loan, my closing information, all the media, all the rental agreements, all my expenses, all my utilities, everything goes into that centralized directory. And again, depending on the type of property you acquired and how you want to operate it, another factor you see here that I think about is whether I need to install new doorknobs. And again, my model, college students, room by room rentals, I have to install unique keys for each bedroom. And early on, I quickly found out that the labor to do that was something like $75 to $100 in my area for a 5-minute job. I determined that's the most costly contracting job by the hour. So I kind of learned how to do that quickly myself, and just off the bat, pretty easy to get that set up. And then another thing I always wanted to do for a good reason was install certain smart devices. I'm going to share with you all some of the things I personally enjoy doing when it comes to smart devices and things that I haven't really had good luck with. Smart thermostat to me is a must. It looks good, much sexier than other thermostats. And depending on your market, in my case, younger generations, they kind of expect to be able to control these things via their phones, right? So off the bat, I can do that with Google Home if I buy a Nest thermostat, which is my go-to brand. I've also tried doing smart front doors, locks. That's been hit and miss for me. The upside is it's great because you can create codes right away. You don't have to worry about rekeying anything when you've got turnover or renewals. If you bring in a contractor, you can create a temporary key for that contractor and then delete it. The convenience is there. But the mechanics are a little bit sensitive, where if the latch isn't perfectly aligned, you're going to have issues with it. And some of my homes are from the 80s. You start getting a little bit of settling, that door starts moving and shifting, and then next thing you know, it becomes a pain to have to get that installed correctly. So when it comes to smart locks, kind of up to you. I kind of stopped doing those myself and went to good old just keys.
Now that your property is upgraded and looking sharp, you're ready for the next step. Coming up in video 2, we're moving from the physical house to the digital marketplace. I'll show you exactly how to get eyes on your property and master your rental marketing. I'll see you there.